been a while, but Tom Downey here once again for Titans Today, filling in at least for the time being. We're going to break down the latest on Treylon Burks' future with the Titans following the fairly sizable Tyler Boyd signing in just a second. But this will be a shorter video than what you are accustomed to. So we're trying out some different stuff, so do keep that in mind in the future. We begin with the NFL, really news of the day, that is Tyler Boyd. The Titans have signed Boyd to a one-year deal worth up to $4.5 million. I think a pretty good value for a player who, yes, his production has declined in recent years, in part because of the presence of, having Jamar Chase, having T. Higgins, having all of those things. But Boyd is a good slot receiver. He is not necessarily the most dynamic, but he is reliable. And Brian Callahan, the Titans head coach, knows him better than anybody. He's been his OC for years in Cincinnati. And there were some drop issues, by the way, but he does have some reliability in the slot and gives them a piece that adds to a heavily invested wide receiver room right now. They paid massive money for Calvin Ridley, trying to correct the wrong of trading away A.J. Brown. They have DeAndre Hopkins. They've now added Boyd to man the slot over Kyle Phillips. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, if he's like your receiver 5, you're in good shape. They drafted Jaquan Jackson late in this year's draft, and they have Treylon Burks. And this is what I am most intrigued by. Because look, Hopkins and Boyd probably aren't going to be long-term pieces, but the Treylon Burks trade rumors are about to appear, if they haven't already, with a vengeance. The additions of Ridley, keeping Hopkins, adding Boyd, even a draft pick, I think puts Treylon Burks firmly on the hot seat. And I would not be surprised if he ended up getting traded. Because let's be honest, as much as I think most people liked him coming out of the NFL draft, and I had a second-round grade on him, which was lower than most, but he was still a top 32 player for me, the production's been a pretty massive disappointment. There is a very limited sample size of wide receivers who put up that level of production. We're talking not even getting to 700 yards in their first 2 seasons that eventually end up becoming premier players. To an extent, it's kind of like the whole bad quarterbacks are always propped up by the Peyton Manning year 1 interception stat that has never really been duplicated. And, receivers struggle on propped up by Devontae Adams will slow to start his career. Now look at him. That's how it tends to go. They try to use that as the outlier as the evidence of why it will still end up working. But it was a former first-round pick. There is value there. And maybe a change of scenery makes the most sense for all parties involved. Because Tennessee, they don't want to get rid of playmakers for Will Levis, but they need to have guys that they trust. And maybe the new regime is out more on Burks. Here's the contract breakdown. He's pretty cheap this year. It's under $4 million cap hit. If Titans trade him after June 1st, which I would assume they would do because you're 3 weeks away. At that point, you're okay waiting in the end. The new team cap hit becomes 2.01. That's super affordable. I know plenty of teams had Burks in their top 30, top 40, top 50. Getting that type of guy, a 2-year look at him for, let's say, a 5th-round pick, I think there would be some interest there. So prediction time. Will the Titans trade Treylon Burks? Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment on this video. If an ad, which you might not play here on YouTube, it's great. Take advantage of it. Ignore the ad. Instead, go vote. Y for yes, N for no.